Imagine a world free from emotional constraints. Imagine a world where your happiness is no longer bound to the attention or affection of others. A world where longing, gazes, missed calls, or thinking of you messages no longer have the power to dictate your emotions. A world where you are no longer swept up by the emotional turbulence caused by others. This may seem like a fantasy to many, especially in today's society, where we are constantly encouraged to seek fulfillment through others. However, Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time for thousands of years, offers us a profound perspective and a path toward emotional freedom, one that is not dependent on external circumstances. The question is, how does Stoicism relate to living a happy, independent life in a world filled with complex relationships, where the attention and affection of others seem to be the key measure of self-worth? Stoicism, a timeless philosophy for inner freedom. Stoicism is not just a theoretical philosophy buried in ancient texts. It is a way of life, a practical and actionable guide that helps us free ourselves from emotional dependency and external control. Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium, who developed the principles of Stoicism as a response to the struggles of everyday life. Later, this philosophy was expanded upon by well-known Stoic philosophers such as Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus. These men not only philosophized about Stoicism, but lived in conditions of hardship, facing poverty, illness, and the unpredictable turns of fate. In these challenging circumstances, they developed the core principles of Stoicism. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea of focusing on what lies within our control and learning to let go of what is not. According to Stoicism, much of our worry, suffering, and anxiety come from trying to control external factors, while we only truly control our thoughts, actions, and responses. This mindset allowed the Stoic philosophers to transcend life's hardships and achieve inner peace. In today's world, we face modern challenges that can feel equally overwhelming: work pressure, financial stress, and complex personal relationships. Stoicism, with its simple yet profound principles, offers us the tools to find inner peace amid the chaos. How does Stoicism free us from emotional dependence? In romantic relationships, we often fall into the trap of emotional dependence. We crave attention, affection, and validation from others, which can leave us feeling insecure and vulnerable when we don't get what we desire. This can manifest in the form of feeling hurt when someone doesn't think about us, when calls go unanswered, or when messages are left unread. But think deeply about this. Why do we allow our happiness to depend on someone else's actions, thoughts, or feelings? Stoicism teaches that true peace does not come from external sources, but from within. When we focus on what we can control, that is, our thoughts and actions, we free ourselves from being tethered to things we cannot control, such as other people's feelings. Instead of feeling distressed when someone doesn't think of us, we can choose to invest in our own growth and focus on the things we can control and improve. This doesn't just make us happier, but also makes us more attractive in the eyes of others. It's when you no longer need validation from others that you become a confident and self-sufficient individual, someone others can't help but notice. For example, instead of waiting for a message from someone you care about, you can use that time to develop yourself, learn a new skill, pursue personal interests, or engage in meaningful activities. When you focus on personal growth, you not only become happier, but you also become a more attractive person in the eyes of others because you radiate inner confidence and strength. The journey of self-improvement, learning to love yourself. One of the most important principles of Stoicism is self-improvement. Stoics don't strive for perfection, but they do strive to become the best version of themselves. This doesn't mean you have to be the strongest, smartest, or wealthiest person, but that you constantly work on developing virtue, wisdom, and self-awareness. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "Life is not about seeking perfection, but about becoming better every day." This journey is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-refinement. Loving yourself in the Stoic sense doesn't mean indulging in every personal desire, but rather learning how to understand and respect yourself. It means recognizing that your true value doesn't come from how others perceive you, but from your own understanding and development of your inner virtues. This journey of self-improvement doesn't just bring inner happiness, but also naturally draws others toward you. When you learn how to love yourself, you no longer depend on whether others think about you or not. This makes you stronger, not only in relationships, but in life as a whole. A practical example: applying Stoicism in relationships. Imagine you are in a romantic relationship, and you often find yourself worrying about whether the other person truly cares for you. You wonder if they think about you when you're not together, or if they miss you when you're apart. These thoughts can easily lead to feelings of insecurity and anxiety. Now, let's apply Stoic principles. Instead of worrying about things beyond your control, such as someone else's thoughts and feelings, focus on what you can control. You can control your thoughts and actions. You can choose to spend your time developing yourself, finding joy in activities you love, and not allowing your happiness to depend on someone else's actions. By doing this, not only will you feel more confident and happier, but the other person will also notice a change in you. Instead of becoming passive and dependent, you become positive and attractive. You don't need to play emotional games to make someone miss you, because you have already become someone they can't help but miss. Emotional resilience. Real strength comes from within. One of the most valuable virtues that Stoicism offers is the ability to be emotionally resilient. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless or detached from the world, but learning how to manage emotions wisely and not let them control your life. Stoicism teaches us that emotions are not our enemies, but rather signals from our bodies and minds. Instead of denying or avoiding emotions, we should learn to understand and accept them, but not allow them to dictate our actions or decisions. When you can control your emotions intelligently, you become resilient. This is not about indifference, but about being calm and understanding, knowing how to manage your emotions based on values and ethical principles. Example: resilience in the face of rejection. Imagine you are in a relationship, and one day the person you love decides to leave you. This can cause deep pain, despair, and a sense of loss. These are completely natural human reactions. But Stoicism offers a different way of approaching such situations. Instead of letting yourself be overwhelmed by negative emotions, you can focus on what you can control. You can't control the other person's decision, but you can control how you respond to that decision. You can choose to accept the rejection, rather than trying to change it, and find ways to regain inner peace by focusing on yourself and continuing to develop as a person. Stoicism doesn't deny pain or emotion, but teaches us how to accept pain as a part of life, and not let it dominate our entire existence. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment." By changing how we perceive events, we can free ourselves from prolonged negative emotions and continue to grow in a positive direction. This doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring the pain, but learning how to live with it, allowing it to be part of the process of personal growth. Building a meaningful life, a journey through challenges. In modern life, we often get caught up in the pursuit of work, relationships, and material success. We strive to accumulate money, power, and fame, hoping these will bring us happiness and fulfillment. But according to Stoicism, a meaningful life is not measured by material things or social recognition, but by how we live virtuously and develop wisdom. Stoic philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus emphasize the importance of living a life of virtue, that is, living a life of integrity, justice, and self-awareness. They believe that the true meaning of life does not lie in how much wealth you accumulate, but in how you treat yourself and others. Are you living a life worth living, respecting noble values, and contributing to the common good of society? Stoicism encourages us to ask deep questions about life and its meaning. Who are we? What are we living for? And are the things we are pursuing truly valuable? Finding meaning in life, from materialism to spirituality. Imagine you are on a race to achieve material success. You spend all your time and energy making money, gaining high-status titles in your work, and building a strong personal image in the eyes of others. All of this, by societal standards, may be considered success. But is this true success? Stoicism challenges this popular notion of success. Stoics believe that success is not measured by how much wealth you have, but by how you live a life of virtue and accept yourself. Life's meaning comes from living in harmony with yourself and society, not from the possessions you accumulate. This doesn't mean we should give up everything and live an ascetic life, but that we need to reevaluate the things we value. Take time to reflect on the values you are pursuing. Are you living to become the best version of yourself, or are you chasing societal standards that you don't truly believe in? Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, spent many years of his life contemplating the nature of happiness and fulfillment. In his book, Meditations, he wrote, "Do not let your life be frittered away by inconsequential matters. Focus on what truly matters, and that is the development of wisdom and virtue." Cultivating virtue in daily life. For Stoics, virtue is the foundation of a meaningful life. Stoic philosophers encourage us to focus on 4 core virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are not just qualities we should strive for, but guiding principles that help us live a meaningful life. Wisdom. Wisdom is not just knowledge, but the ability to understand and apply moral principles in life. A wise person knows how to discern right from wrong and make decisions based on ethics and justice, rather than emotion or personal gain. Courage. Courage is not just about facing physical difficulties, but also the bravery to face the truth, confront difficult emotions, and navigate life's challenges. Courage is the ability to stick to your ethical principles, even when doing so may cause you pain. Justice. Justice is the ability to treat others fairly, without prejudice, and without letting personal interests or biases interfere. A just person acts according to moral principles and defends the rights of others. Temperance. Temperance is the ability to control oneself and not let oneself be consumed by desires or momentary passions. Temperance helps us live a balanced life, not allowing ourselves to be overwhelmed by negative or excessive influences. By cultivating these 4 virtues, we not only live a more meaningful life, but we also become stronger in the face of life's challenges. Letting go of the desire for control, achieving true freedom. One of the most important lessons of Stoicism is learning to let go of control. Humans are often obsessed with controlling everything around them, from circumstances, outcomes, to the behavior of others. But the truth is, most of these things are beyond our control. Stoicism teaches that we can only truly control one small part of life: our thoughts, actions, and reactions. When we accept that many things are beyond our control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Letting go is not giving up, but rather accepting the reality that we cannot control everything. Example: applying detachment in everyday life. Imagine you are in a situation where you desperately want to control the outcome, whether it's a work project, a relationship, or an important event. You spend a lot of energy and time trying to manipulate every factor, but in the end, the outcome still doesn't turn out as you hoped. Now, apply Stoic principles. Instead of worrying about the outcome, which you cannot control, focus on what you can control: your effort, dedication, and attitude throughout the process. The final result, whether good or bad, will not affect your inner peace because you have done your best and accepted the truth that the result is not entirely in your hands. In relationships, this means you no longer try to control someone else's emotions or behavior. Instead, you love and care without demanding anything in return. By letting go of control, you free yourself from stress and learn to accept others as they are. Conclusion: Stoicism and the journey to finding meaning in life. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, but a journey inward, where we learn to find inner peace, resilience in the face of challenges, and freedom from external constraints. The lessons from this philosophy not only help us face life's difficulties, but also help us find joy and meaning in every moment. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploring Stoicism at Resilient Stoic Mind, where ancient wisdom meets modern living. This is not the end, but just the beginning of a new journey. One where we continue to learn, grow, and discover the true meaning of life. Let us continue forward together, for this journey is not just a personal endeavor, but a path we share, seeking peace and self-understanding in a world full of unpredictability.